Good morning, guys. I know I have a different setup this morning, and that is because I am on vacation in my motorhome, so my lives will look different for the next few days, but that's okay. I still wanted to come on anyway and hang out with you guys, so I hope y'all will just do make the best of how my setup is. I don't have everything I'm used to having. I'm just using my travel kit, so get your paints and get your paper, and we are going to have some really fun painting sessions at the beach because that is where I'm at right now, and I'm enjoying that. So I hope that you guys will join me. Hi, Shelly. Welcome in. How are you? Edward, welcome in. We are going to be doing some fun watercolor. I did not bring any of my previous paintings that we've done on live with me. This is just, I'm at the beach in my motorhome, and we are just going to hang out and create something fun. Oh, thank you, Shelly. I appreciate that so much. You're so kind. We're going to do a fun one today. I'm going to pin it for you guys so you guys can see it. Because I want you to see it's just an inspiration picture. Obviously, our paintings never come out exactly the way that the inspiration picture looks, but I like to use one for you guys so y'all have something to look at, so that you know what we're kind of going for. So I'm going to put that right up here in the corner. We're going to do a little mushroom house today. It's going to be super fun. I'm really excited about it because I've been wanting to do it since last week, and I just haven't had any time to sit down and make it happen. So we're going to make it happen today, and I'm excited about that. So you guys let me know what y'all think about that. It's going to be fun. All right, so you're going to need a pencil. You're going to need some paints. We're going to be using the Meeden travel paint set because that is what I travel with. That is why it doesn't look near as messy as my regular set, because I only use it when I travel most of the time. But that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to pin it below so you guys know which one I'm using. And I'm going to be using my Fumini sketchbook today because I do have some watercolor that I could cut up for an ACEO, but I do not have any scissors with me. I don't know how I managed to get out of the house without scissors, but I did. I'm going to go later today to somewhere and get some, but for now I don't have any, and I wanted to go ahead and pop on today. So isn't it adorable, Shelly? I think it is so cute. We're going to draw it out. Don't be afraid of that. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I had somebody who's been following me for a while the other day tell me that they were, the first time they came in my live, when I said I was going to draw it out, they almost got out of my live because they were so nervous about drawing. But now they've been with me for almost a year, and their paintings and drawings are amazing because they've been practicing with me every day. So if you don't think you can draw, I promise you we're going to make it as painless as possible to do it. So I don't want you to I don't want you to not try just because you think you can't draw. But Shelly, it's a skill set. You can learn, okay? I didn't know how to draw either. I mean, if you look at my videos on my page, you'll see I use that. This is not a sketchbook, it's an art class book, and that's kind of how I learned to draw. But if you look at my before and afters, you can definitely see that I could not draw beforehand. And I have been practicing on lives every day with you guys. And so that has made all the difference because you guys hold me accountable, and I get on here and I draw with you guys, and I get better and better every day. So that's what we do. We learn together and we enjoy everything together. And we don't have to worry about whether it's good or bad or how it turns out. I don't even worry about that. Sometimes it turns out great, and sometimes it turns out like you know what. So I just try every day. And we get better every day. Good. I'm glad that gives you some hope, because I promise I could draw shapes. And that's really how I draw even still today, is shapes. But at least now I kind of understand perspective and value shading and things like that because I learned it in the book. But I certainly did not understand any of that before I started. So All right, you guys, go ahead and tap the screen as much as you possibly can. The more taps we get on the screen, the more people will get in the room, and we can get started on this. Everybody, kind of give me a one in the comments if you are ready to start drawing and working on your page. We've got you're going to need some watercolor paints. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need an eraser, which I have one in here somewhere. This is my Meeden art box. If you guys don't have one of these travel art boxes from Meeden, they're freaking awesome because you can pretty much put anything you want in here. And I know I have an eraser in here somewhere. I just don't know what I did with it, because I did have it in here. I even have a little ruler in here too. So, okay, well, my Meeden travel kit has an eraser, so we'll use that. You just pull this off of here. So you're going to need an eraser, you're going to need a pencil, you're going to need something to do your art on, watercolor paper or whatever you want. Shelly, this is not a sketchbook, it's an art class. I can pin it for you. It's right here. And let me tell you something. I was very, very skeptical, and I did not want to spend that kind of money on a book, but I finally broke down and did, and it was one of the best things that I could have done for myself. It has QR codes in it that give you like 3 to 5 minute video lessons, and then after that you sit down and you do whatever homework assignment is in the book, and then you work your way through the book. And she does things like perspective and value shading, and she teaches you like how not to draw a nose and like she teaches negative space, which was very, very helpful for me. So there's just a whole lot of different lessons in there that give you basically the basics of drawing. So once you have the basics, it's really easy to transfer that to your style. Now, the book is based on realistic art, but I'm not a realistic artist, but I was able to transfer all those lessons into the type of art that I actually do, and it was very, very helpful for me. So if you are struggling and you're wanting to improve your drawing skills, that book is the most amazing book that I can recommend. And I've done it multiple times. Like, I did it myself, and then I went through it again with my grandson who's 8, because he's expressed a lot of interest in wanting to draw. So we did it again with him, and he loved it. And he is a really good little artist at 8 years old because of that book. And then I also did it another time just for myself again on a couple of the lessons. So I've done a couple of the lessons multiple times just to make sure that I understood them, especially value shading. That was a really hard lesson for me to learn the shading and things like that. So that's where I really struggle. And so I've done that lesson multiple times. So I work outside of my book. I scanned the homework pages into my scanner and kept them in my computer. And that way, anytime I needed to do the homework, I could just print the page out and do it on cardstock rather than inside the book. And I could use it multiple times, which was really nice. So I would suggest that if you want to do it more than once. Hey, Stacy Lee, how's it going? I'm so glad that you are here. I hope you are feeling well today and on the road to recovery. I know you still have a long way to go, but I do hope that you're recovering well. All right, I'm going to get started. You guys drop a 1 in the comment if you're ready to get started. I'll wait. I want to make sure everybody's got their supplies out and ready to go. We're going to be using the Meeden travel palette today. So let me pin that for you guys so you guys know what that is. This is my palette that I take with me on the go because I am at the beach on vacation this week. And it comes with an eraser that fits right here. It comes with art tape. It comes with a brush, a pencil, an art sponge, even a black pen. And then you get 50 different watercolors, and you also get some paper clips in case you need to clip your paper down. So you get 50 different watercolors, which are still the amazing Meeden quality that you're used to. And it's a really affordable palette. It looks like right now it's on a flash sale. So if you guys are wanting to grab this palette up, it's totally worth it. It's a great little watercolor palette. So we'll be using that. I'm going to be using my Fumini sketchbook today, just simply because I don't have scissors to cut out some ACEOs. I walked out of the house and didn't grab any. I'm going to be using my Grabby multi-liner pens for my black trim. And I'm going to, of course, be using my amazing Meeden and Golden Maple brushes. So I'll be using the Meet-In set, which is a set of 4. And then I will be using my Golden Maple detail brush sets that I brought as well. So this is the Meet-In brush set that I use. Yes, I am in my camper. I certainly am. And I only have a really kind of a small tripod. I don't have an overhead tripod like I used to like I use at the house. So you guys will have to forgive me for not having a great mobile setup yet. I am working on trying to find a good tripod for in here in the motorhome, but I do not have one right now. So this is the best I can do for you guys right now. But I hope that you guys will be patient with me. And if you have questions or if you need me to change your view or anything, just let me know. And I will let you guys know. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the Meet-In brush set too. That's what we're using. Sorry, I got to get to that before we move on. And I need to see some taps on the screen and some ones in the comments before we get started so that I know that we are ready to go. These are the Meet-In brushes that I will be using. It is the 1, 3, 5, and 7. There is a 9 brush set, but I also have a I have the 4 brush set, but they make a 9 brush set. So if you like professional brushes that don't break the bank, this is a really great set. I use this every single time. I rarely veer off of my Meet-In brushes because they are ergonomically built to reduce hand fatigue. They also have a no rust ferrule. It's very tight so you don't get any shedding, and they have a short stem so you can control your strokes really easily. So that is something that I love these brushes. And I love the fact that they're affordable even though they're a professional set. So if you're looking for that, that's a great set to grab up. Okay, so that's what we'll be using today. And then the other set I'll be using is just a couple of random detail brushes from Golden Maple that I brought with me because I knew I would need some detail brushes. So I got my teeny tiny itty bitty one, and I got my middle size, and I got my larger size. So those are the sizes that I have as far as the detail brush goes. And they're all from Golden Maple, and I love their detail brushes. Okay, so let's get going. I see some ones in the comments. That means we're all ready to go. So we're going to start drawing it's good to see you too, Stacy Lee. I'm sorry I've been kind of scarce. I know I've done a lot of X-Tool lives, but I haven't really been able to do a lot of art lives lately. But I'm trying to get back into that. So you guys, if you'll be patient with me, summer is always a little crazy for me. We do a lot of traveling, and I have the kids a lot, my grandkids a lot during the summer. Because my daughter does a lot of weddings. So just, if you guys will just be patient with me on that, I promise you I will get back to a good schedule. We are going to be starting our Christmas card series in the fall. So for those of you who enjoyed that last year, we're going to do that again. And I think I might even do 2 different series of 10 this year, just so I have 20 cards done. So if you guys are excited about that, I want you to put a yes in the comments, please, because I am super excited. We're going to be using this paper right here to do that series. It is currently on a really good sale, and it comes 10 in a pack. So to do our series, you'll need 2 packs of that. You're going to want to grab it early because they will sell out, and I don't want you to miss out on having that series, having the stuff you need for that series, okay? So I'm really excited about it. Last year's was so much fun, and I've got some really cute designs for this year. So you guys go ahead and be sure that you grab that and grab your paper so that you can join me for that. Kate will be doing that on my lives every day. We're going to be doing that starting in September, so we have plenty of time to get them ready for the season and get them mailed out on time. So you just need to hit the button that follows me so that you get notified when I'm live. You can hit that little fan club button right up here, and that will notify you that I'm live. And yay, boo, you've got yours already. That's awesome. So if you already have your cards, great. If you don't, be sure you grab them up, because yesterday when I looked, they were running kind of low. I'm not sure how much they still have left. Yesterday they had under 100 left. And today it looks like they have about 40 in stock. So that's going to go pretty quickly. Now they will restock before Christmas, no worries. But just to be safe, don't wait on that. Okay, grab those. You got two, Stacy Lee? Good, I'm glad. Yep, that's what we're going to need for my series. And I will also probably create an event, where you can create the live event. I'll probably create those just for the Christmas card series so that you guys can sign up ahead of time if you want. That way you'll kind of know what days and times we're doing it outside of our normal lives. Okay? All right, guys, we're going to get started. So again, we're going to be using the Meeden Art travel palette. And we're going to do this image that's right up here. This is our inspiration image. I'm not able to show you a larger image today because of the tripod that I'm on. It's really hard to get my phone on and off this tripod. So I apologize for that. I might be able to do it on my iPad. Let me see, just one second. Let me see if I can pull it up on my iPad. And if I can, I can put it under the screen for you guys so y'all can get a screenshot of it at least. Hang on one second. Now I will see if I can do that. Let's see, where is, let me see. 1 second, guys. We're going to get this. We'll see if I can pull it up. All right, it's loading, and as soon as it loads, I'll put it up there for you guys so y'all will be able to do that. Anybody wants a bigger picture of that, please send me a message and I'll send it to you. Okay, all right, here it is, guys. So if you guys want to get a larger picture, we're not going to be doing we never do all of the extras and things, but we do, this is going to be the gist of what we're going to do. I will add some florals and probably the fence. But if you want to get a screenshot, remember you can hold your finger down onto your phone screen and a little message will pop up that says clear display. You can clear the display and then you get a full picture before you do a screenshot. Okay, so that's the image we're going to do today. I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be so much fun. I'll keep it back here in the background too, just a little bit so that you guys can kind of, well, that's not going to work either. So hopefully you got your screenshots. Put a yes in the comments if you got your screenshots so that I know you got it. If you need it again, put a no and I will put it back on screen for you. And anytime you need me to put it up there, I can lift it. I'll keep it beside me on my iPad and that way we'll have it available, okay? All right, so Deanna got it. Stacy Lee got it. Good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start drawing this, okay? Because we're going to just sketch it out. And we're going to need to have this is going to be our ground. So I'm going to just kind of give myself some lines right there to show you where the ground is going to be. And then what we're going to do to draw this out is we're going to start from the ground and we're going to do like a little kind of like parenthesis line. And then we're going to do another parenthesis on the other side. And that's going to give us the base of our mushroom. Okay, and you want to kind of make them sort of uniform, but they don't have to be perfect because I don't think I've ever seen a mushroom that's perfect, right? I mean, maybe you guys have, but I have not. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start and we're going to do we're going to start just below where our line starts at the top, our parenthesis starts at the top, and we're going to bring it around. We're just going to kind of circle it around. And we're going to kind of do like a little S and then circle around again to the bottom, just like that. Okay. Hi, Rain. How's it going? And then we're going to make sure we bring this all the way up, our parentheses all the way up to touch that top line that came across there. Okay. And that is the base of our mushroom. And then we are going to create sort of a rounded triangle from there. So we're going to do a rounded little triangle and bring it down to there. I'm kind of at a weird angle that I'm drawing at, guys, so some of my stuff may be a little wonky today. Y'all will have to forgive me. Again, this is not my normal setup, so I'm winging it here. All right, so there's our mushroom. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then we're going to put our little chimney on right here. So what we're going to do our chimney is we're just going to draw a line up, and we're going to do another line up from here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to do our little box right here. It's part of our chimney. Okay, so it's basically, it's a square. It's actually, you know what, I'm going to show y'all a better way to draw that, because I just made that really confusing for no reason. All right, think about it like this. Think about these two tips of the chimney make a point. And then from there, make your square. I'm going to make this one come out a little bit further. Thank you so much for that, Rose, Rain. I appreciate it. And the claps. I appreciate that so much. And then we're going to go up again here. And then you're going to do that same thing. You're going to make these come to a point like that. Okay. This needs to come past there, though. So we're going to go down past the line and past the line like that. And that's going to give you the top of your chimney. It looks kind of odd right now, but I promise when we get color on it, it'll make sense. But that is an easy way to do that in perspective. And yes, that is something I learned from this is not a sketchbook, it is a art class book that we were talking about earlier. Great, just in the final countdown before granddaughter makes her world debut. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for you, Rain. That's going to be so fun. Yay, yay for you. I will be praying all goes very well. Y'all, it's my birthday month too. So we'll have the same birthday month. We'll be Leos together. Not that I really put much stake in that, but I just think it's fun. Okay, so now that we have that, it's time to draw our door of our house. So let's go ahead and do an oval for our door. So it's going to be like a half oval. And then we're going to do a frame around that by just following that same pattern all the way around. Okay, and you know what? I'm going to do a small window, but I'm not going to do the window box because I don't really feel like I have room for that. But I am going to go ahead and do like a small little oval window right here. And I'm going to bring this down just like this. And we're going to do a little breakdown of the window frame, just like that. Okay, so we have a little window there. Okay, now we're going to also do the little fence, and it's going to come across like this, just like that. And then we're going to do our little pickets that come up to a point and down, and a little nail right there. So what we're not going to see are those lines that are going through the middle. So erase the lines on the pickets before you put your nails. Okay, I'm going to do it ahead of time. Probably should have drawn those in between, but I didn't think about it, so you guys know how that goes. And then again right here. And we'll add in some florals when we start putting color down. But there's our little pickets. And then we'll do some flowers right here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and draw my flower right here because it's going to go over the fence. And I don't want to paint the fence and then forget that I'm supposed to have a flower there. So we're going to go ahead and do that right here. I'm going to do a really nice big kind of daisy looking flower right here, just so we have it drawn out. And all that is just a circle and some half ovals. And then we'll put, you know, some leaves through here. And we'll do some grass all along here with some other stuff, some other florals. But I needed to go ahead and cover that up. Over here, we're going to do that same thing on the corner. Yes, exactly. I've worn my eraser down too, Rain, big time. It is hard to see what you're doing because all the comments are covering it up. Okay, Deanna, here's what you need to do. Put your finger down on the screen. I don't know why that got bigger. That's weird. Put your finger down on the screen and hold it down, and it'll say clear display. When it clears the display, you'll be able to see better. And I also moved that out of the way. I didn't realize this thing had gotten bigger for some reason. That's kind of weird. But anyway, but if you hold your finger down on the screen, you'll have the option to clear the display. And once you clear the display, you can see it a little bit better. All right, so we're going to do our circle right here for our flower. And this time we're going to do like, not hearts, but like a little jagged tip at the top of our petals. So we're going to go up and we're just going to kind of come in and around. It looks like a teeny tiny little heart, sort of. And that's what our petals are going to look like on this flower. So, and you can make them wide if you want to, like that, or you can make them skinny. It's totally up to you. And again, you don't even have to put flowers on yours if you don't want to, but I'm going to go ahead and draw this out because anything that's going to be covering up something else, I like to have drawn out in advance so I don't actually paint. And then, especially when I don't have my my gel pens to layer over the top, which I didn't bring them with me on the trip, so I'm still a little, like I'm kind of at a disadvantage because I don't. And this is where those other flowers are going to go. We'll do some really fun flowers going up the side here too. So, and then our grass, of course. Okay. So that is going to be kind of an idea of our outline. So there's where you should be. Linda, the gel pens that I use are these right here. They're the Langu gel pens, and they're actual acrylic paint. And because they're acrylic paint, they layer really well over watercolors or over each other for that matter. They also blend really well. I've just put them up there. It's product number 1. And oh wow, they're actually on a sale right now. So if you guys are looking to save a little bit of money and you want a really good set of gel pens, I do not have them with me on my trip because I'm gone to the beach right now in my motorhome. So I usually have them and I can show you, but they're pinned right down below. And if you're looking for a really good set, I have the 90 color set, but they make one that is as big as a 144 color set. Very nice. They write really well. They're very juicy, and they also have a lot of color options. They're a 0.7 millimeter tip, which is really, really nice because with a 0.7 millimeter, you can get into smaller areas. You can do lettering really easy with them, and you can color into teeny tiny areas much better. So I have the ZSCM gel pens, which are amazing, but they're a 1 millimeter tip, so they're a little bit large. The gel pens that have the 0.7 millimeter tip are so much better. So, and not better, sorry. I don't want to say that because I love my ZSCM pens. The tip is better for smaller areas. That's what I meant to say. So, hopefully that helps. Okay, so I am going to, and I'm going to put that palette back up that I'm using. All right, so we're going to be using the Meeden palette today to start our colors. Obviously, you don't have to use the same ones that I'm using. Use whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you have on hand. There is no right or wrong to this, guys. And you don't have to have the same stuff that I have. So, yeah, Stacy Lee, they're really nice gel pens, aren't they? I love them. Anybody else who has them, chime in the comments your likes and dislikes about them. One of the dislikes that I have about them is that because they're acrylic paint, and they are a retractable tip, the paint tends to, if you don't wipe the tip before you put it away, the paint will dry on the tip, and then you have to like scribble on a scratch piece of paper before you start writing with it to make the ink flow again, because it breaks that dry acrylic paint off the tip, and then you've got an open flow again. So that's one of the dislikes that I have about those pens, but that's really about the only one. The rest of the time, I love them. So I just have to scribble with them before I use them usually, because I tend to forget to wipe the tip of it off before I put it away. But I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, there's nothing that's going to be perfect. So that's just one of the downfalls of them. All right, so I don't have my kneaded eraser with me, so I'm just going to have to leave my markings dark. And we're going to go ahead and start putting paint to paper. Now, I don't have my meet-in paint toilet today that I usually have, so I just have a jar full of water. So I'm not going to be able to like get clean water when I need it. So I've got a paper towel out as well. And that way I can kind of clean my brushes that way. I'm going to be starting out using the Meet-In number 1. So if you guys want to grab your Meet-In number 1 or something that's similar so that we can do the top of our mushroom. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments. Okay. All right, so let's get ready. If everybody's ready to start painting, you guys drop a 1 in the comments, please, so I know everybody's ready and has their drawing finished. I'll wait for you guys to drop those 1s in the comments so I know to move on, and I know everybody's caught up. Where the sun's coming in right there? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we keep the stuff over our windows in our motorhome that keep the sun out, because it gets so, I mean, we're in Texas and we're in the like open air. There's like no trees around us and the sun is beating down. And so in order for our AC not to work so much, that's what I was talking to my husband about. Sorry, guys. I mean, I guess you could screen record it if you wanted to, but all my replays are available. Reach out to me and I can let you know that. I can't say anything on here. I get in trouble. But Tuba View is where you can catch those. All right, guys, let's go ahead. And you can find that in the LINK on my TikTok page. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush wet, and I did not prime my paint, so I did not spray them or anything. I didn't bring my spray bottle. You know, there's a lot of things that I don't use when I'm on the go, so I'm just going to use my paints as is, and I'm going to use a purple. So I'm going to use this purple right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I drop in a kind of a watered down version of that purple into the top of my mushroom. Now, guys, you can use whatever color you want. You don't have to use purple like I'm using. Just use whatever color you want to use and fill in with a light version of the paint that you're using, of the color that you chose, okay? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and add my shadows with the same color. In just a second. So we want to keep it kind of watery and wet so that we can blend those colors really easily. Okay, so just fill it in, one solid color. You don't have to worry about whether it's blotchy or not. Just give it a solid color. Okay, and once you do that, make sure that it's still wet. If it's not, add water to it. You want it to stay wet to do this blend, okay? So I'm going to add a little bit right over here because this was getting kind of dry. Okay, now we're going to imagine our light source is coming from the right side. Barrel Mom, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you for the heart me. Yes, not the page, but just the area that I'm coloring is wet. Yeah, That's it. Hi, Jamie and her creations. How are you? Yes, I'm doing wet on dry right now. So, but now I have wet and I'm fixing to do wet on wet. Okay. So this purple area is wet. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some more of that purple and I'm going to make it much more pigmented. We're going to pretend that our light source is coming from the right side. So all of the left side is where the dark pigment is going to drop in. So we're going to go ahead and drop in some of that dark pigment through here. All the way up into that wet space. And then I'm going to dry my brush off and just grab a little bit of water and I'm going to kind of just blend that out. Just clean water. And just kind of blend it over. And it's okay if you have some darker splotches on the right side. That just is going to give it a little bit of character as we go. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Now, the one thing that I did not do, guys, is bring my heat gun. So I can't dry my stuff ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is while I'm going to be working kind of differently than I normally do. Normally, I would dry this and I would immediately start working on the under part of the mushroom. But I can't do that because this is wet. And what's going to happen is if I do that, it's going to blend into the purple. And I don't want that because it's still wet. So I'm going to let that area dry. And then while it's dry, or while it's drying, I'm going to work on an area that's not going to be touching that purple, so it can't blend together, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush, and I'm going to get clean water on my brush. And I'm going to work on the door, okay? So I'm going to use this kind of greenish, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use this kind of blue, this light blue color for the door. And I'm just going to fill in, this is dry, and I'm going to do a wet on dry and fill in my door color right here. All the way around. I'm not worried about it being splotchy. The splotchiness is what's going to give it that character. So don't worry if it's not exactly, right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my brush in my water and I'm going to pull out my medium detail brush. I'm doing the medium one. This is a 3/0. Sorry, this isn't medium. This is golden maple. The golden maple detail brush set. And I'm going to get some more of that same color. And I'm going to kind of drop it in right around the top area right up here where you would have a shadow. So we're going to make that a little bit darker and give ourselves that shadow from like the door, like the door facing or the trim around the door is going to give it kind of a shadowy look right through there. And then also right along the side here. And I'm going to go all the way around to about 1/4 of the way down over on the right side. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to get a darker blue. So I'm going to use this darker blue color. And I'm going to, it is still a little bit damp, but you want it to be mostly dry. But it is a little bit damp still. And I'm going to give myself some lines, some of that wood grain look. Doesn't have to be a solid line. It can give just the like hint of the fact that it's, slats of wood. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm also going to go around the outside with that color just slightly to give it that more of a shadow look. Okay, so now we're starting to see that shadow develop and it looks like the door is kind of inside the mushroom. That's what we're going for. Okay, like that. Okay, now I'm going to put in some clear water in some of these areas right here, and I'm going to pick up, so I'm going to take a dry brush and I'm going to pick up some of that color so that we have kind of a lighter area right in the middle of our door, just because I think that looks more natural. So I'm just picking up just a little bit of that color, kind of giving it more of a little yellowy wood grain look. So it looks kind of distressed a little bit. And do that right here too. So what I'm doing is I'm just using plain water to do that. And so it kind of gives me that like distressed look of my door. Okay. Now, once that dries, we're going to put a doorknob on, but right now it's not dry. So let's go ahead and do the edging around. So find whatever brown you choose for your trim of your door, and we'll go ahead and put that brown in as well. I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm going to make sure I have enough water on there that it's going to kind of lighten up the brown, because we're going to want to put some depth to it by adding in some shadows of a darker brown. So you don't want it to be too brown. So add enough water that it's a lighter brown as you go around the door. Okay. But also remember that the light is coming from the right. So the right side is going to be lighter anyway. So if your pigment starts getting lighter as you bring it around, that's okay, because we're going to darken up this side. So go ahead and grab some more of that same brown while it's still wet and kind of drop in some darker little low lights on that side. And then rinse your brush. Do the same thing again with the darker brown. And just be a little more scarce with it this time. Just be scarce, like just here and there, okay? Just like that, and then maybe a little bit of an outline on this outside edge over here, okay? So that's where we're looking at right there. Oh, that's okay, Carrie, no worries. I did not spray water, Shelly, on my palette normally. I would normally do that, but I did not because I didn't bring my spray bottle with me on my trip. So there are certain things that I use my meet and travel box, and whatever fits in my meet and travel box is what I'm allowed to bring. And if it doesn't fit in there, then I can't bring it. So that's kind of how I limit myself to what I bring on my trips, which is really hard for me because I want to bring everything. But I did not bring my spray bottle, so I did not. Now, if you don't have a spray bottle and you do want to prime your palette like that, all you have to do is get like a larger brush like this size, dip it in your water, and just drop dots of water onto the colors that you're going to use, and that will prime it for you. So you can do it that way too. Okay? All right. Okay, so now that this purple is dry, we're going to go ahead now and start working on our mushroom area. So I'm going to switch my brushes again, and I'm going to get back to my meet-in number 1. I'm going to make sure I have clean water on there, and I'm going to do a very light color for my mushroom. I'm going to start with this like skin tone pink color here, and then I'm going to add to it as I go. But First, I'm just going to put that on there. So just go ahead and fill in your mushroom and also the underside of your mushroom with that color, or with whatever color you choose for your mushroom. And just go in there and fill it in. And then we'll do a wet on dry for this, and then we'll do a wet on wet for our shading. So just know that when we get into the shading part of it, it does need to be wet to do that. Okay, so keep it kind of moist as you go. Don't overthink it though, because I mean, you can always add water if you need to, but just know that we're going to do a wet on wet in just a minute on that side over there. We're going to go around the window, which we haven't done yet. And around our flower. And make sure we've got it all filled in. Okay, so we have it like that. I know, whimsical pages. I love them, right? They're awesome. All right, so now that we've done that, go ahead and make sure we have this side of your mushroom and underneath here is fairly damp and moist. I'm going to pick up this like yellowish color as my shadow color. And I also want to grab just a little bit of this light color, okay? And I'm going to kind of drop that in on this side and up here into that. And then I'm going to rinse my brush and dry it off. And I'm going to kind of spread that to make sure that it y'all excuse me 1 second. I need to put my phone on do not. Y'all excuse me 1 second. I need to put my phone on do not disturb. These potential spam calls. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we kind of have a shadow on that side. And that's what we want. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of use what's left on my brush to kind of bring in that brownish tone on this side. But it still has that underlying pink color that we started with, so it kind of all comes together. Now up underneath here, we're also going to need that same thing, okay? Because up underneath here, you're going to have a shadow. So I'm just going to run it right across there and kind of just drag it down and blot it so that it looks shadowy there as well. And then, of course, I'm going to do, once it dries, we'll do our lines for the underneath part of the mushroom. Okay, so let that dry, and then we'll do that at the very end once it's dry. I'm just going to bring a little bit of this in. Sorry, guys, this was looking like it was going to have some harsh lines, so I had to blend that out. Anytime I feel like I'm going to get some harsh lines, I just add water and kind of blend it out, and that works just fine. I am going to add a little bit more pigment from these two colors right up underneath here where I know there would be a shadow. And just blend those out with a dry brush. Okay, just like that. All right. Now that's got to dry before I can do anything else with it. So let's move on to our flowers and our grass, okay? So let's start with the grass, and I'm going to do a wet on wet with this grass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to get some clean water, and I'm just going to go where I know the grass is going to be. And I'm just going to put some water in there. So in between my little flowers. In between my petals, all that is going to be wet. And you don't need, it doesn't have to be like drenched. It can just be glistening, okay? So just know that you're just going to drop in some green in this, because this is where we're going to get our grass. So go ahead and get that all wet, and then pick whatever green you want to use for your grass. I'm going to use this light kind of olive color first, and then I'm going to drop in some dark ones after that. So I'm just going to kind of drop this in where I feel like it needs to go. I'm not going to be really particular about it. I'm just dropping it in, okay? And just kind of smoothing it on there. Okay. And then again over here in this area. And just know it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to do some other stuff to make it look more natural. But for now, we're just going to leave it like this. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this darker green, drop in some darkers where I want them to go, and I'm just kind of blotting it in there. Nothing, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's going to just have some extra different tones of green. That's what we want with grass. Okay? And we're going to let that dry. Okay? I'm going to rinse my brush, dry it off. For some reason, that's not drying the way that it wants to, so I'm going to leave that there. All right, now let's go ahead and go up here. Since this part is dry, we're going to go up here to the top and do our chimney. And we're going to do that with the same yellow and brown that we used for the shadows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that in as a wet on dry. So the chimney is dry. And I'm just going to spread that in that area right here. And then I'm going to take that dark brown. I'm going to drop it in right here, like right underneath there, like that. Okay. Then I'm going to take my detail brush. I'm taking the middle size, and I'm just going to kind of spread that down. I didn't even put any water on my brush. I just used it dry to spread this so that we get some different tones to it. And then we're going to make it look like a brick by doing a brick pattern. Ugh, sorry guys, I lost my reference photo here. Okay. And we're going to kind of give us some like some darker brown lines. So I'm going to use this really dark brown. It's almost black. It's like a super, super dark color. And I'm going to go in here, and this is still a little bit damp, and that's okay. I'm going to go in here, and from the tip of this to the bottom, I'm going to make my like curvature. So we know that that's where the two sides come together. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to do another line down the center here. And I'm going to do my lines across here kind of opposite one another to kind of give it a brick pattern. I'm going to do the same thing here. Give it a brick pattern, so that we kind of have that brick look. And then I'm going to give some darker shadows right up underneath here. We just want to make sure we have enough of those little lines to make it look like it's got a brick pattern going to it. Okay. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. Oh, I guess that wasn't a dark brown. That was a dark purple, y'all. Now that I'm rinsing my brush, I can tell. But you can't tell on my picture, so I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to use, let's see, let me find a dark brown. This one. This is definitely a dark brown. And I'm just going to give it that again. But it's okay if we use purple, because our mushroom's purple, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell, and I don't have my swatches with me, so. Okay, so now we have the chimney, and we're going to do the top part of the chimney, okay? So we're going to drop in. I'm going to switch to my larger detail brush to drop that in. Okay. And I'm going to, guys, let me know where you're at. You guys give me a 1 in the comments if you are doing, if we're caught up and we're good, or if I'm going too fast or too slow. So give me a 1 if you're good, and a 2 if you need me to slow down and wait for a minute so you can catch up. 1 is good, 2 means hold off for a few minutes and let me catch up. All right, 1 is good, Kimmy's good, Patty's good. Excellent, excellent. All right, that's awesome. I'm so glad. All right, let's go ahead and rain is good. Let's get our purple that we used at the beginning then, and let's drop that into our chimney top right here. Remember, we want this to be fairly light, so if it's too dark, add some water to it so that you can lighten it up, because we want to be able to add our shadows. And the more water we have, the lighter it will be, and that way we can add in our shadows. Okay. All right, so while it's wet, what we're going to do is we're going to give it just a little bit of, I'm going to use this dark purple that I used by accident a while ago. And I'm going to kind of bring it down right in the middle here, just very slightly, ever so slightly, to show the difference in the top of the chimney. Okay, and then I'm going to just drop in that dark across here, and I'm going to drop in some right here as well. So I'm not going to make it brick. I'm just going to kind of give it some like messy shadows. Okay, and there is your shadowing for your chimney. Bravo. Okay, let's go ahead and get our window started. So I'm going to grab a yellowish orange for the window, and I'm going to just fill that window in with that yellow orange first, and then we'll go over it to make our window frame with a brown. So go ahead and fill it in, and after it dries, we'll put our frame in there, okay? Now we're going to put detail on this with the black pens in a minute, so no worries if, we haven't gotten, if it's looking odd. Because remember, you have to, and I tell you guys this all the time, you have to go through the ugly phase first. So don't just allow it to go through the ugly phase. Yep, Stacy, we're going to get to those in just a second. We'll get to the underneath the lines with the mushrooms, but I don't want to do that just yet. Let's go ahead, and we've got that drying. So while that's drying, let's do the doorknob and grab some of this dark brown. And we're going to put just a little doorknob right here on top. And I left just a little bit of a spot on it to look like it has a highlight, okay? So there's that. So now we have our doorknob. And let's go ahead and get some color on our flower on this side. We're going to use the purple and the dark purple. So I'm going to use that same purple that we used on the mushroom. And I'm going to make sure I have enough water, that it's not too dark, because we're going to want to put some shading in there. I don't have any colored pencils to do shading, guys. So we have to do our shading with the watercolor today, which is good for us because it makes us practice. I can always go back when I get home and add colored pencil shading if I choose to, but honestly, it's always good to practice without that and do your shading with your watercolors, because sometimes you're not going to want to use colored pencils. You're going to want to use just the watercolor. So remember, the more water you have, the lighter your color is going to be. So that is where I'm at. I'm just making sure that I have enough water on here, that it's a light enough purple for me to drop in some color, okay? So now you want to make sure it's all wet. You're going to take that dark purple. I'm going to reach over here and grab that dark purple. I was wondering why this didn't have a dark purple in it, but now I know that it does. All right, I'm going to drop it at the base of my petals. Okay, and now I'm going to rinse my brush, get some clean water, and I'm just going to drag with clean water. Drag that purple up my petals and let it kind of do its own little shading. Okay, and we're going to let that dry. Don't worry about the middle. We'll do the middle in a minute with our light color. So just let it dry and ignore it. It's going to look really weird right now. Just let it look weird, okay? We're going to do the pink now. I'm going to get this light pink. Remember, you want enough water that it's going to not be too dark. I have to be careful not to smear it because I'm going to touch that other flower. So I'm going to turn my page so I don't accidentally touch that other flower. Okay, so we're going to go in here and just fill in these petals. Notice I'm not being super accurate with this, and the reason I'm not is because I'm going to come back with my detail pen, my Grabby Multiliner, and I'm going to line it out, and it's going to be fine. So it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It's really important that you not try to go for perfection. Watercolor is super forgiving, which is great. All right, so we have that. We have our pink in there. Now I'm going to go in with this darker kind of pinkish red. It's like a magenta color. And I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to drop it into the base of each of my petals. Just like that. And now I'm going to rinse my brush. And I'm going to just take some clear water. And I'm just going to kind of drag that up my petals. Just very light touch. You don't want to overpower it with water. Just enough to give it a little bit of shading going up your petals. Okay, just like that. And we'll do the center in a minute when it dries. Let's go ahead and do this section right here. Let's go, well, actually, let's do the mushroom lines now. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here with this darker brown. It's like a medium brown that we used when the mix. And we're going to take our lines and we're going to go kind of like round it out from the corners and go up with it, okay? And we're going to do that same thing from the same origin point each time. It doesn't have to be all the way, and it doesn't have to be the same size or anything. Just remember, this is always different in every little mushroom. So we don't want to assume that it's going to be perfect, okay? Just give it some lines. Oh, sorry, I was out of the screen. My bad. Okay, and then over here, we're going to go from this corner right here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of just go out. Very light touch. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and go around with this dark. And I'm going to go around here too. With this dark. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? The reason I'm asking is I have on my noise canceling mic, but our air conditioner in this motorhome is incredibly loud. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Don't give me a comment and let me know yes that you can hear me, please. I didn't think to ask about the sound earlier. And go ahead and tap that screen if you can. Give us some likes. Share it out with your friends that are artists that might want to paint with us. That's always helpful. Repost. That's always helpful. All right. Okay, April said yes. Good. Thank you, April, for that feedback. I appreciate it. All right, now that our window's dry, we're going to go into our window. Remember, guys, we're in the ugly phase, okay? Y'all be patient. We're not going to be in the ugly phase the whole time, all right? All right, let's go ahead and take our brown and just fill in the middle part of our window frame like this. We're just going right over the top, okay? And we're going to go around the edge of the window like this. Just like that. Super simple. Okay, we're going to do two different browns on the fence. We're going to do the planks that are in the front, the pickets, with this lighter color brown right here. So go ahead and grab that and make sure that you don't have too much pigment because you want it to be fairly light. So go ahead and add water if it's too dark. See, like mine's really dark, so I'm going to add some water to it so that I can spread that out and make it lighter. There we go. That's what we wanted right there. And just go up and make sure you get those filled in with the brown. They don't have to be perfect and they don't have to be the same, but close, that's all. We're just going for close. Okay, just like that. And now the in-between little pickets, we're going to go with the darker brown. So grab your darker brown and go ahead and go in between with that color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just do a little bit. I'm not going to fill it in fully. I'm going to leave some highlighted areas to make it look like a rough cut of lumber. Like that. So I made the edges jagged, and I also made the insides, you know, the areas that are filled in. I gave them some like little highlighted areas, okay, so that it looks rough cut. And then I'm going to take that same dark color to make my nails. Thank you for the follow. And Natalie, I appreciate that. We're going to go right here and we're going to do our nails. Just like that. We'll go in and put some highlights on those in a minute. Okay? All right, so that's where we're at. Now let's go ahead and grab our dark green and let's start doing some leaves for our flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my stem down, and then I'm going to take my brush, and this is how we're going to do our leaves, okay? You're going to press down, and as you come up, you're going to lift so that you get kind of that wide base, like this. Press and lift. So you get a wide base, and then you get a tip, okay? And you can always bring them together however you want to. And I always like to just add in extra little blades around the base to kind of bring that grass look in. Try not to touch the parts that are wet. Okay, just kind of like that. All right. No, it's fine. It's actually better because I can feel it. It's really warm in here. Well, it is warm today here in Texas. I don't know where you guys are at, but put your, matter of fact, drop your state in the comments. If you're watching, drop your state so I know where you're from. I want to see where everybody's watching from. And I'm just putting in some extra little grass blades here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this other flower. Okay, I'm going to grab my green. I'm going to do my stem. And then I'm going to do a press and lift. And I'm going to do another press and lift. Yeah, too hot Texas, Natalie. Me too. Nevada, Michigan. Oh, my husband's from Michigan, Michelle. North Carolina. I love North Carolina, Kimmy. Sherry, I love Maryland too. My dad lives in Virginia, right outside. He lives in Winchester, so close to the border of West Virginia and Virginia. Pennsylvania, Dragonfly Dreams. I love that state. We do a lot of traveling in our motorhome, and we've taken our motorhome up to most of those places that you guys are mentioning. We travel a lot, so, which is why I don't have all my supplies today, because I'm in my motorhome at the beach. I'm just adding some little grass, like grass blades. And you can put as many of these in as you want. You can do them in different tones of green. And that way you've got like a really big mixture of different grass. So, and I just do like a little V. And the lighter it gets, the better it looks, because you're getting different looks from it. So, and then you can put water over it if you want to and kind of blend it, which makes it really nice too. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got our grass in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the centers of my flowers. So grab that orange yellow that you did a minute ago. Washington, I love Washington rain. I'm so jealous. 73 now, will be upper 80s, 90s, air quality issues from fires. There's more fires? I didn't realize that. We were there a few years ago when they had some big time fires going. And the area that we stayed in was very, very like smoky from it. All right, I'm just filling this in with that yellow that we used in the window. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to use this same green and I'm going to drag up my my vine to create these flowers that are going to go up the side. So go ahead and drag your vine up to wherever you want it to stop. And then make sure you have your second one there as well, connected. And I'm even going to do one right here as well. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to grab that same green olive color that we had. I'm going to mix it. I'm going to just use my eraser tray for mixing because I don't have my mixing tray. I should have brought, oh, wait, you know what? No, I don't. I didn't bring it. All right, and I'm going to take this same green color and I'm going to kind of mix those together so that I have kind of a muted version of the two colors together that we used in the grass, okay? And that is what I'm going to use for my leaves that are going to come off of here. So I'm going to I'm going to go with the tip of my brush very lightly, and then I'm going to press down as I go, and then I'm going to lift as I go to create these leaves, okay? And I'm going to do that same thing, press and lift. And I don't worry about too much water or color tone or anything like that right now. I'm just building the leaves, okay? So here I'm going to press and lift up and press and lift up. And I work my way up, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get some more of that. And I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to press and lift, press and lift, press and lift. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to give myself a really nice big leaf that comes up right here. And then I'm going to do some smaller leaves here, press and lift. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing down on my brush, and I'm lifting it up as I move up the page, and that gives me those leaves, all right? Got a huge Spokane and other fires nearby. Oh my gosh, I did not know that, Rain. I guess I should pay more attention to the news. I just had no idea. I hate that because we love it up there. It is absolutely gorgeous. We love to do like, we go into the Index area, which is up by the Skycomish River. We stay on a little cabin right on the Skycomish River there, and it is gorgeous. We love it there. It's our peaceful place. Kimmy, I love Charlotte. I love Charlotte. So you're right close to there on the South Carolina border. My brother's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so we love it there too. Lady Daydream, California is hot. You're dying, huh? Yeah, your electric bill's going to be through the roof. Yep, for sure. Yep, I know it. And everything's so expensive right now, too, on top of that. So it doesn't help that, everything's just cost an arm and a leg. Okay, so now that we have our leaves done, now on this side, I'm going to make these like little stems with the round leaves like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do those while I have this green on my stem. Yep, just like that. Okay. Now here we're going to start doing our purple ones. So here's how we're going to do those. Okay. We're going to take the same purple that we used, and we're going to do that same press and lift. We're going to do it 2 times on top of each other. So you're going to go press and lift, press and lift. And then again here, we're going to press and lift and press and lift. Once you have that, you're going to just draw these little kind of connector leaves, and you can round out the tips of them if you want to make them look more like flowers as opposed to leaves. Just like that. So that's how we're going to do our little flowers, all right? Honey, you're in California? Yeah, it's hot. It's hot there. We love California, though. We drove up to Fort Bragg and went to Glass Beach several years ago, and we really loved it. The drive was not fun from Texas because it was a lot of like just open like desert, but we did love it. Like the trip itself was really nice. My husband said he didn't think he would ever want to drive it again, though. We drove up to San Jose for a conference and then ended up going to Glass Beach after that. All right, so I'm going to kind of go lighter with this next one. I don't want it to be as dark because we're kind of getting up to the top, so I'm going to add a little bit of extra water to it. And I'm going to go lighter with it, and I'm only going to do 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. A little smaller. And then at the very top, I'm going to do one at the top, just like that. Okay? And we're going to do that same thing on this side. So we're going to take and we're going to do press and lift. Press and lift. And then I'm going to press and lift right on top, just like that, and make our flowers. And then we're going to give ourselves our little winsies at the bottom. Round those petals out. And then we'll do it again. Press and lift, press and lift. Sometimes it doesn't exactly go the way that I plan when I press and lift, but you just got to make it happen. It's not, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a flower, so you know as well as I do that petals are never perfect. So there's that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and do one more right over here. I'm going to take this same green that I mixed, and I'm going to do a little like flower that's going to come up from here. And we're going to do the same kind of press and lift, and press, and then kind of make that rounded. That one's kind of weird, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about it. Like I said, sometimes my stuff comes out great. Sometimes it ends up being a disaster. So, okay. So now we're going to do one little heart flower right there. I'm going to use the pink that we used earlier. We're going to do a little heart-shaped flower right here. And we're going to just kind of fill that in. I'm going to leave some white in there, just like that. Okay. And if you want to even give it shadows, use that darker pink while it's still wet and drop it in at the base so that you've got a little bit of shadows in. Okay, just like that. All right, so there we are with that. Then let's see, what else do I need to do here before we do our details? I think we've got everything done for that. So it's time to start doing details. Now, when we do the detail, what we're going to do is I'm going to use my 005, Grabby Multiliner 005, and I will probably use the, let me see, I might use the 003 and the 01 as well. Let me see. There's the 01. I don't know that I even brought my 003. I don't think I did. Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay, and then I also have my Grabby white pen, which is super important because I'm going to need that for the dots and how we're going to do that. So we're going to use this to make our dots on top of our mushroom. And I'm not going to make them round. I'm going to make them different shapes. I mean, they can be sort of round, but I want them to be kind of like, I want them to look more natural. So I'm going to be doing mine like this. So just add in your dots, and then I'm going to show you how to shadow these in just a second, okay? So just go ahead and add it in where you want them to go. They're random. There's no rhyme or reason to this. Yeah, it's really hot here in Texas right now too, so those of you from California, I feel that. But y'all were having kind of a little bit of a heat wave too there in the Pacific Northwest, weren't you, Rain? Didn't y'all have kind of a higher than normal heat index recently? I thought you did. All right. So now we have that. Now you're going to take your teeny tiny brush, okay? And we are going to dip into our purple that we use, but we want it to be very pigmented, so it's going to be lots of paint and very little water. And you're going to go on the, sorry, I keep hitting my microphone, guys. You're going to go into the like underneath each one. Uh-oh, you know what? I'm going to use my other one. This brush is too small. All right, let's use this one. And I'm going to go underneath each one of these like this. And just go on the left side and underneath. Okay? So left side and underneath. And it's going to make them look like they're kind of standing out, like they're kind of 3D. That's what we want. Like that. I'm mostly doing the left side, but I'm also going at the bottom. Like this. Honestly, with the light being on the right, I probably should have done it on the right side instead of the left, but whatever. Again, I'm not an artist. I'm just somebody who likes to paint and have fun with you guys. So if I messed it up, I messed it up. Thank you guys for the likes. You guys tap that screen. It really helps me. So I appreciate all you guys who are tapping. Tapping is clapping, right? That's what they say. All right, so there's that. So you can kind of see how that gives it more of a little kind of 3D effect. That's what we're going for. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it does make it worse. All right, so because it's dry when it's hot. Even if you get rain, it dries it out so fast that it doesn't help with the, wildfires because the ground gets dried out so fast. Okay, now it's time to start getting our details in. So I'm going to first take this same purple in a dark pigment and I'm going to outline my mushroom so that we have a little bit of a guide as to where that goes. I'm just going to turn it around so I can get to this side. It's really hard to be painting in this position. I'm used to having an overhead tripod. But I'm going to get a better tripod for my motorhome next time. So you guys just bear with me on this trip. I get home next Wednesday, so I'll be more available. I'll have my regular lives started back up then. But for now, just doing the best I can. Thank you, Rain. All right. Now I'm going to put that away. Excuse me. I'm going to grab my 005 Grabby Multiliner. These are waterproof and they do not require, so like if I put water over the top of them, it's not going to mess them up. That is why I like to use these, because if I have to go back in and put water over them later, it doesn't smear them. Okay. All right. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to give my flowers some of their little outlines. Okay. Make sure they get some details. And I'm going to just give them some little hatching in the center of each of the petals. These Grabby Multiliners are in the shopping bag below if you're looking to grab a good set of watercolor pens. These are really, really nice. So, and I'm going to give my leaves just a little bit of outline, not a ton, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to kind of give them a little bit of detail. And that's it. Same thing with the fence. I'm going to just give it, it's kind of a sketchy look. I don't want to go with anything that's perfect because I don't want it to look perfect. I want it to look distressed and sketchy. Now I'm going to do that same thing on the insides of my pickets, and I'm going to give it some of that wood grain look. So I'll draw like a knot, and then I'll work my way out from that and go down to give my pickets that wood grain look. Okay. Let's see, I gotta finish out my flower here. So this is a very loose outline with this pen, okay? It's not like it has to be perfect. Go ahead and give your petals some little hatching in the center, like that. And then again, over here, go right along this, give the outside of my mushroom. And I'm going to give the center some hatching, or the corners of my, right here, just for some shading. Okay. And I want to kind of wood grain the door, but I don't think I can because I don't have my colored grabby pins with me, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and just do these. And again, I'm just loosely outlining them, giving them some shape is all. Nothing perfect. Okay. So there's that. And then it is time to splatter. So I am going to cover this side of my journal because I don't want to accidentally splatter on the page that I want to use next. Just put that right there like that. And then I'm going to take my my number 1 pen. I'm going to use this purple color. And I'm just going to tap. Just like that. And then I think I want to use just a little bit of green. Not too much. Okay? Just like that. And there it is. What do you guys think? Yes, the microns are great. I love them. I do love the microns. The grabby multi-liners are very similar to the microns. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Deanna. I appreciate it. Is your pens multicolored? I do have the multicolored set, Sherry. Yes, it's the one that comes with 20. It's this one right. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's this one right here. It comes with 10 sizes in black, 10 different sizes in black, and then it comes with 10 of the 05 size in all of the colors. So in your primary, your regular primary colors. So you get both colored and black. Sorry, I was confused. Thanks, Michelle. You have a great day. Good, April. You guys hit the follow button. I try to be on here almost every weekday, Monday through Friday. I don't always make it, but most of the time I try to do that around 10:30, 11-ish my time, which is Central Standard Time. I got started late because I'm on vacation today, but so this week will be kind of crazy, but I do like the Grabby Fine Liners compared to the Micron brand. Oh, okay. So Deanna, they're pretty close to the same. The only difference is I feel like these don't dry out as quick. So I like the fact that they stay juicier for longer periods of time. So that's why I like them. And honestly, Grabby sent me these for as a gift, and so did Micron. I got a set of those, so both of them were gifted to me. And if I had to choose, I would probably choose these just because I really, really like the way that they don't dry out as quickly. And the tips seem to be a little bit more sturdy on these than the other ones. They don't, you know how if you press too hard, you can mess your tip up. And with the 003 and the 005 size especially. And so that is, I feel like these are a little bit sturdier. So yeah, so I would choose these. Any other questions about anything that we used today? Again, we use the Meeden Travel palette. And because I am traveling right now and this is the palette that I bring, I do have my pan that has my tube paints in it. I did bring that with me just because I wasn't sure if I would want it, but I didn't use it today. I just used this one. And it comes with everything. This little travel palette is amazing because you don't have to pack. The only thing you have to pack if you're taking this travel palette is your paper or your book, you know, your sketchbook or your paper, because you get tape, you get paper clips if you need to clip your stuff down. You get your brushes, a pencil, an art sponge, an eraser. Like everything fits in this little tin, and it's really small, so it's easy to travel with. So technically, you could just, I don't want to close that yet, it's not dry, but you could just take your sketchbook and your travel, and you're good to go, which is really nice. Oh, thank you, Deanna, for that. I appreciate you doing that. I saw one, I was at yesterday, because I saw one come through yesterday that was quite a few, some papers and things like that, and I was like, oh, somebody got a lot of stuff. So I appreciate it. Do you have a link for the book? I do, Rain. It's right here. Let me grab it for you. And I actually have that book with me because I bring it with me everywhere I go in case I want to refresh any of my skill sets. But that is the book right there. It's called This Is Not a Sketchbook, and it is an absolutely dream of a book. Let me grab it because I want you guys, I'll show it to you guys so you can kind of see. Let me get it. And I didn't realize it, but I actually have my sketches, my comparison sketches that I use, and some of my homework. But like this was my initial little giraffe that I used to draw before I did this. With pulp or cotton. It's cotton, Deanna. It's the Fumini cotton one. They're sold out right now. They have a smaller size that's not sold out, but this is the, I think this is the 4.5 by 4.5 size, and currently it's sold out. Oh, Rain, sorry. You meant the one I was painting in. I'm sorry, my bad. Here, let me look. I'll show it to you guys. If you look in I can't pin it because it's sold out. But if you look in my showcase, or look in my, in the cart below, and look at item number 20, that is the journal, the 4.7 by 4.7 that I am using. Okay, so if you guys want to look at product number 20, again, it's sold out, but and the one above it, this one right here, is the same company, same paper. It's just a little bit larger size. It's the 8.5 by 5.5. That's the one that I use when we do our lettering art on Thursdays. It's the same sketchbook. So, and they also have a smaller size one as well that's smaller than this. That is, let me grab that for you too, because I have that with me also. And it is this size right here. So you can see the difference in the size. It's just slightly smaller. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. Because I think I have that. It's the Funto, sorry. And that one is this right here. And it looks like, yeah, I don't see that. The other one is definitely sold out. There's not even any other options. But this one right here is this size, okay? So it's the same company, same paper. It's a little bit smaller in size. And you can see how the size difference. So it's about a half an inch all the way around size difference than the one I used today. Do you feel like you made more progress with This Is Not a Sketchbook? Oh, absolutely I did. The stuff in this book, like you do things like value shading. She teaches you like the ways to do your shading and the levels of shading. And then she gives you homework that teaches you kind of how to do the shading to make it look the way that it's really cool the way that she's got it set up. And it's QR codes. So you get like a 3 to 5 minute lesson, and then you get like a homework assignment from it. And it's a really good book. It's definitely changed my art. I never could have imagined that I could do the art that I've been able to do. And I attribute it truly to that book. I really do. I think I have, let me see. I don't know if I have my other giraffe in here or not. I don't think I do. No, I thought I had my other giraffe that to compare this with, but I don't. This was my very first giraffe. If you guys have seen my before and after videos on that book, you can see the difference. It's really crazy. So, but I feel like before, like I did this, these are popsicles. That was based on her shading lesson, because all that is rectangles, but I learned the shading, the value shading from her. And I never could have done this without the value shading lesson that she gives in that book. And then also, so these are some of the things that I've done since I did that book. And it's really because I feel like that I've made a lot of progress learning how to, hang on, let me see if I have any more shading in here. That was all the shading. This was just me practicing drawing and shading pretty much, like all of this. So, and this is kind of my practice sketchbook. So I do a lot of like drawing practice in here, and I do, so it's a practice book for me. But yeah, I do believe that book has been what's made the difference in my art for sure. I want to see the yellow book, please. Oh, yellow book. Okay, yep, sure. Sorry, I don't have a really good way to give y'all a better view. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can move this at all. Okay, so I will do my best to show it to you. Actually, I'm gonna pull y'all out of here because now that I'm done painting, it doesn't really matter. So just ignore my messy motorhome because I'm in my motorhome today. So this is not a sketchbook, and what she does is she have you. Let me pin it for you guys so y'all can see it, because I want you guys to know what I'm talking about. So there it is. And what she does is she has you start out with she has you start out doing a self-portrait. So because this is a book of realism, even though I don't do realism, I apply it to the kind of art that I do. But she has you start out doing just a sketch. And like some of them you can see started out very simply, that they didn't have a lot of ability to draw. But you can see the difference in how they improved over time. And then she teaches you things like how to understand negative space and how to do, like first you start out tracing some things like this to just try to match things. So you can kind of learn to do that. And then she starts you out doing some negative space assignments. And she gives you several practice pages on negative space. And then she also does contouring. She does perspective, which is really nice because that was helpful. She teaches you how to do value shading. And then you practice your value shading in squares. So you end up with like, well, it's not there, but she teaches you kind of like 1 is all white and 10 is totally dark. And she does all of these via these QR codes right here. And I'm trying not to show the QR codes because I don't want people to scan them because that's really part of the book. So, but she definitely, she gives you 3 to 5 minute video lessons when you scan the QR code. And then she gives you a homework assignment. And you get that homework assignment and you move on to each one. So this is the value shading assignment. And then you've got like, this is how not to draw a face. And this is how not to draw a nose. And so you go through these lessons. And I honestly was not even sure that, like when I went on and on about whether I should buy this book or not because of the price. But then I was like, I finally just broke down and did it because one of my goals for 2025 or for 2026 was to really improve my drawing skills. And so going live and practicing every day with you guys was one of the ways that I committed to doing that. And then also I got this book. And I'm telling you, this, obviously the practice every day has helped tremendously, but this book has been incredible for me to learn the basics of sketching. Like, it is a skill set. It is not something you have to be born with. You can learn how to do it. There's absolutely no reason that you can't do it if you follow the steps of the book and you follow the lessons. You definitely are able to, you will be able to learn. I feel certain that anybody can learn to do it because I promise you, I had no ability. Like literally I could draw circles and ovals and triangles and that's how I drew. And if you look back at my older lives that when I first started, that's literally how I taught you guys to draw. I was like, okay, we're going to do an oval here. We're going to do a circle here. We're going to do a triangle here. Like that's how I taught. And I still do somewhat draw that way. But now at least I understand how to do perspectives and how to draw things from looking at them from a certain angle. And I'm also understanding shading so much better. And so like now I know when I do my shading, how to do, how to place my shadows where they need to be. So that is very, very helpful. So hopefully that has helped you guys. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. I'm going to be hopping off of here pretty soon. I just wanted to, I wanted to pop on today because I did not have a quick opportunity, or I didn't know if I'd have another opportunity today. So Deanna, thank you so much for the purchase. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness, you got so much. You're going to love it. I'm excited for you. You're going to love all of those products. You are going to love, love, love them. I love Meeden though. The products that Meeden makes are amazing. And they're also really like affordable too. So you get good quality, but also affordability. So I love that. I know, Deanna, that was one of the reasons that I was worried about the book too. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't do the self-portrait. I didn't do it because I knew I wasn't going to be doing realism and I knew I wasn't going to need that. So I did not do the self-portrait. I skipped completely over that lesson. So just FYI. Yeah, you're going to love those brushes. Those brushes leveled up my arcs really fast. Like seriously, I was so surprised that I was able to level up that quickly. But those brushes helped a lot. Dragonfly Dreams, thank you so much for that purchase. I appreciate that. You're going to like those pens. I think, did you get the multicolored ones? Is that what that is? I'm having trouble seeing because I'm on my computer and it's really small. So, but it looks like you got the pens. Yeah, I don't have any desire to draw people either, Deanna. It's too hard for me. And well, I say that. I mean, I think after this book, I probably could do it. I wouldn't be great at it, but I feel like I could do it now. But I will also say that I just skipped that lesson because I wasn't interested. It wasn't my passion. If it's not my passion, I'm not going to do it. So it's that simple. So yeah, thank you so much, Dragonfly Dreams. I appreciate that purchase as well. So you're going to like the multicolor set. I see, if I had my multicolor set, if I had brought the whole thing today, I would have used the multicolor for some, I would have used the aqua blue to do some of the same stuff I did with the pickets right here. I would have done that wood grain and the door with the aqua blue, but I didn't have it with me today, so I didn't. But normally I would have used the multicolor to do that. So yeah. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed our class today. I will see you guys again very soon. I may or may not come on tomorrow, but I probably will do something on Sunday and maybe and probably Monday morning too. Because I'm going to be here until Tuesday, and we'll be heading out on Tuesday. So I probably won't be on Tuesday. But I'm going to try to do, and I might even pop on tomorrow. I just never know. So I don't know what my schedule is when I'm on vacation, but I'm going to do my best. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I had so much fun. Be sure you hit the follow button if you don't follow me so you get notified when I'm on live. And if anybody has any questions before I hop off here about any of our stuff that we used today, please let me know. We did use these paints today. So that is the paint set that we used. We used the Meeden brushes today. That is the Meeden set that we used in brushes. And then we used the Funto journal, which this is not the one we used. This one's the smaller version because the version I used today is sold out. But we did use that same paper. All right. I hope that helped. And we used the Gravity multi-liners for our pins. And I have the multicolor set. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thank you so much, everybody that made purchases. I'm very thankful. And anybody who has any questions can just drop me a message too. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right. And I will see you guys again very soon for another tutorial. Bye, guys.